The Oruga Podcast.
Somehow somebody's always looking the other way. Now look at these guys. They look busy, right?
So listeners, eventually you will see the Galactic Federation.
You must join us as we embark on space. That's it.
That's it, bro. We are going to be controlled, and we're going to have to pay taxes to the Galactic Federation. You wait. We'll pay taxes to the state, we'll pay taxes to the government, we'll pay taxes to Earth, and then we'll pay taxes to the galaxy. Where will it end? We'll never know.
Your tax dollars are going for good use.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Op. Be sure to check out Oruga's shop. We make shirts and hoodies that are comfortable and stylish. Follow @ShopOruga and visit orugastore.com. That is ORUGA store.com. Beat produced by Saipuda. Check him out at saipudabeats.com.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Jesus. Welcome back to the Oruga Podcast. My YouTube is now auto-playing, so I just saw a crash car, and that was a bit rough. Yeah. Jesus. I don't know. I have a clip, though, of just glassing. Just glassing.
I've never been moose hunting before.
Yes! Have you ever seen a moose go down that quick? Holy cow! Holy cow is right. That is awesome. We got out here early morning. Look at the meadow. This is why we came up here. We've been slipping along this big, huge meadow. Big, long, tall meadow. We've been slipping along here, just glassing. And all of a sudden, literally, I didn't even put my head net on. I'm like, we're just glassing these big, huge meadows. Let's just keep going. Let's glass. I'm glassing. I'm like, holy smokes, I got a moose. And I'm like, oh man, it's a bull. And I'm like, no, it's a cow. We got a cow right there. That was unbelievable.
That's a clip from Lamb H, your mom's house. Super, like 371, the episode. A little far back. I was like, it doesn't matter what year. But, yeah, big fan of Lamb H, and that was just a funny bit. Just glassing. And I think that's like a country singer of some sort. Luke Bryan, I speculate, but I'm not positive on it. But yeah,
What a weird thing.
He's
to
a
be doing.
hunter, if you couldn't tell.
He's moose hunting.
Moose hunting.
Wonder what state.
We got a bull. We got a cow.
I don't know the classification.
Yeah.
He's like really hyped up over.
You know, he didn't ask its pronouns.
He should have done that first.
But he was bow hunting, so I guess he has some skill. But yeah.
I know, taking down a moose with a bow. That does take some balls, though.
An accuracy and some discipline and practice, and I have never shot a bow. Well, I guess I've shot a bow before, but I was trash at it. And yeah, it's not something that like I'm really into, bow hunting, but it's interesting. It does seem like more of a challenge than just using a rifle. Mm-hmm. So rifle, like, I mean, yeah, you have to have some like, you know, accuracy and precision.
With the bow and arrow, you gotta have a clean shot, like right underneath.
Yeah, and you're pulling back like 80 pounds or 75, and you're like, I don't know. That seems like something.
It does sound like something cool to get into, though. Archery.
Mm-hmm. It's a good discipline, I'm sure. Like a good pastime. Like, you know, like we just played pool before this, and like that's a pastime. Or you could just like, I don't know, go outside, get your bow, shoot at a target for 30 minutes.
Some people golf. Some people hunt.
Some people golf. Yeah. Some people like to ride their bikes on the roads.
Not the sidewalks. They don't trust the sidewalks.
No, fuck. No, it's actually illegal for somebody to ride their bike on the sidewalk. I say illegal. I don't, it's just like, you can get ticketed for that. It's supposed to be like, that bikes are for the road, supposedly. That's why when people are on the sidewalk with bikes, I do get a little crazy. I don't, like, you're not crazy. I'm like, I'm not getting crazy. I'm just saying, like, it's
Jump
just...
on their pegs.
Push them over as they're riding. But no, I don't, like, I just get a little aggravated. Because it's like, dude, I'm walking on the sidewalk. Now I gotta get over for you, like, on the left. Fucking assholes.
Unless you're living in Loveland.
Loveland? Yeah.
Where it's bike capital.
Bike capital
of Ohio.
That was a cool trail, though. Walking on it is like a paved road, but it is like a cool, just little, like
a trail.
I was about to say hiking trail. It's not really a trail. It's you're walking on a paved road. Paved road that's nicer than most roads. Like
it's specifically meant for not motorcycle, but bicycles.
Just bicycles, yeah. Yeah, but when you go to Loveland, you'll still find people who drive or who ride their bikes on the road, and you're like, dude, there's a trail for you. Why are you making me slow down? But yeah, I do love riding bikes though. Let me just clarify. Like, I love bikes, dude. Oh my gosh, like as like a kid, would ride bikes every day. So fun.
Around the neighborhood.
Yeah, actually, like, I miss that, like, being older, having a bike, and just constantly, like, going from A to Z on a bike. It was always really nice.
Yeah. Always having different places to go to.
Mm-hmm.
No agenda.
No agenda. You just, like, the sun's up, what's around the corner?
Yeah.
And it's pretty freeing to be youthful. Oh my gosh, I don't know if I can stop myself from not talking about it. I found my doppelganger, but not, physical doppelganger.
The evangelical doppelganger.
Yeah, the religious version of me. And his name is Preston Shuttlesworth. Shuttlesworth.
Yeah.
And his podcast was...
It's a rival to ours at this point. Can't have two two Prestons.
No. God, no. Especially when I have a religious agenda, and he also has a religious agenda. And you know what? I need to tell you how God works. Dude, how stupid is that?
I know.
This is how God works. So,
that was just a snippet.
Obviously, you don't know what I'm talking about, but I was listening to Preston Shuttlesworth audio podcast, and he's a 21-year-old minister, he declared himself as. And
so our age.
He's, fucking our age, which, no knock to him.
Proclaimed. What is he, minister?
He's a minister. He's not a youth minister. He's a minister, apparently. And then he also is the person... You know what? I'm just going to read his bio for the podcast. Because, man, this man just needs the clout. So, his bio for the Preston Shuttlesworth audio podcast is... Preston Shuttlesworth is a 21-year-old minister and preacher of the gospel. In this new venture of podcasting, Preston is aiming to deliver an anointed message to his generation that they are equipped to conquer every challenge of life through the power of God's word.
How powerful.
Doesn't that just make you have, like, goosebumps?
I feel the energy coursing through me.
Oh, God. It was just so funny because, like, he was just proclaiming that he knows God and he knows how... This is how God works. Like, bro.
None of us have answered that question.
There's been thousands of philosophers on this earth we've recorded, and they barely understand what God is. I don't even think they just have metaphors for what God is. They can't be like, this is on this wall. I have declared what, I don't know. I don't even know what bit I could
We don't even have tablets Like, we don't have the same 10 Commandment tablets to pull from. Mm-hmm. We don't have the Ark of the Covenant at our disposal.
How many times
were supposed to trust these sources?
Right. How many times were the Dead Sea Scrolls translated and retranslated from language to language?
Looking for comfortable... Looking for comfortable and stylish apparel? Something right up your alley? Oruga has a collection for you. Monochrome features sleek black and white designs. The Workweek and Thermal features pops of vibrant color. Check out orugastore.com for unique styles and streetwear. Talking about those, where are the scrolls?
Those are Dead Sea Scrolls?
Those are probably lost.
No, they found some of them.
Supposedly. Yeah, they did.
And they DNA tested the skin that they wrote on, and they were like DNA testing because they would use animal skin for their paper. And so what they would do is DNA test that skin to carbon date it, and then they can like kind of guesstimate of how long ago those scrolls were written. And I have no idea where they found them, and I have no idea where they are now, but
we'll acquire them one day.
Oh, yeah.
We'll have them hanging up.
That would be pretty baller. Instead of like having like a famous painting, you have like, I have the Dead Sea Scrolls, bro.
Yeah. What do you have?
Honestly, like, what would I rather invest in? A $10 million T-Rex?
No, I think it was $6 million.
$6 million?
It was only $6 million. T-Rex skeleton.
Only $6 million. I think
it's worth the investment, though. Just have chilling.
Let's handshake. I think we should agree. When we get the first $6 million for the Oruga Podcast, right to a T-Rex skeleton.
It's not even going to be towards a building to house it. It's just going to go towards the skeleton. We're not a museum or anything.
No, we just want to have a private collection.
Yeah. Who knows? We might mount it sometimes. Mount the skeleton.
Have like parades where teams of people like move it, like one of the Japanese dragons.
Have a bunch of people just act like you're moving the legs.
Yeah. Oh god, those things are so cool. And how baller is that to have
a fully reconstructed skeleton of something that lived 60 plus million years ago?
You're like, that was the top predator. Now who's the top predator now, bitch?
I wonder how tall they are, though. Aren't they like 30 feet?
No clue. I guess, yeah. Yeah, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
We're
copping that, and we're going to put it on the campus. And we're going to say that's our donation.
The Oruga campus.
They would have to give us some airtime at their UC station.
Oh, sure. We're paleontologists now.
We donated a whole T-Rex skeleton so that you guys can study it. But we're just leaving it outside.
Dude, how cool. How cool. And then the next thing would be those, I don't know what kind of dinosaur they're called, but those pig-looking dinosaurs that have the tail with a big weapon on the end of their tail.
Have those ever been recovered? Like their tail spikes?
I don't know. I would assume,
it's like
right?
a whole ass rock. I wonder how they developed that over evolutionary time.
Just a dinosaur version of a rhino.
I know, but he had a whole ass almost rock.
Did you just gender a dinosaur?
True. All dinosaurs are he. I'm just kidding.
At least the aggressive ones.
Yeah. All the aggressive dinosaurs are guy dinosaurs. all the ones that had to protect their young, those were the mama dinosaurs.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. There were no female T-Rexes.
To be fair, they laid eggs, didn't they?
They say they were lizards, so yeah, I guess so. They were non-mammal.
But yeah, to evolve in having a tail that has a rock attached to it that has spikes.
Mm-hmm.
How many defenses do you need?
But can I just blow your mind for a second? Dinosaurs existed while trees existed. Sharks existed before trees.
Before trees?
Before trees.
That means before land, right?
No, because there were mushrooms that replaced trees. Like,
okay, so
before
there were giant
trees,
mushrooms, right?
there were giant mushrooms.
They're like umbrellas.
Yeah, I remember hearing I have this book that's called The History of Nearly Everything by, I'm just gonna have to grab it. Bill Bryson. Yeah. The History of Nearly Everything by Bill Bryson, and he goes over a part of the creation of, like, what we think at this current moment. How did the Earth form, and, like, what species started off, and blah, 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 blah. And, yeah. Mushrooms before trees, bro.
And sharks before trees.
Which I guess makes sense because, like, we had water animals before we had land animals, alright, but, like, still pretty crazy that those demons have been around for so long.
Sharks have lived through the dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Right?
For sure.
Is that what you were saying?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Which, like, that's where I go back to my subject of we need to have homes underwater for when the next ice age or catastrophic meteorite will be saved, like the sharks.
Yeah, we'll be at least 70% safer. Who knows?
And
we won't have any tectonic plates shifting that are, like, directly affecting us.
I think technically not, because those tectonic, I don't even know, those fault lines are actually start in the ocean. So, like, you know how there's those, we were taught this at such a young age, but there's a plate and then there's another plate that's going underneath of it.
Yeah.
And, like, being swallowed into the mantle of Earth. And most of the time, I'm not actually going to be a scientist right now. I actually don't give that.
Yeah. Can't describe it in detail.
Nah. Because you know what? I was taught that shit in, like, 8th grade.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago. And that didn't make me a scientist back then. Oh, gosh.
Just the whole theory. It's not even a theory. The whole science of tectonic plates shifting is just wild.
And they didn't have a theory for Pangea until, like, the late 1800s, early 1900s, which
there
is
was
like
one supercontinent.
Yeah, exactly. And then they started teaching that to their young. Now that's a product of us, like, which is insane that there were people not long ago. Like, our country's not that old. Our country was formed in 1776, and. Yeah, bro. The fact that, like, it took Galileo for us to understand that we revolve around the sun is crazy. That wasn't long ago either.
I know, like, it's so weird that, I don't know, just the time scale of humans. We really haven't been around here that long.
They say, what's a precursor? They say that we, as, like, our present evolution has been around for about 50,000 years. Like, we haven't evolved that substantial in about 50,000 years, which is crazy. And, like, now, and
I guess the last things that were, like, minutely, like, the traits that were dwindled down, I want to say that it was probably just, like, us getting more and more hairless. You know?
We could talk shit about Kanye West all day long, but I was listening to a podcast where he was saying something really clever and really smart, and it's like he was saying that we're in this relay race with life, and we're just handing it off to the youth 24/7. like through the evolution of humans.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, during this relay race, we have to do our best to teach the children this, you know, the best way to think. And and I don't know, I just feel like it kind of ties into like how we really haven't been around that long. Like the dinosaurs were around for millions of years, but like, bro, we haven't been around for very long.
And not even like we don't have a whole period named after us yet, even.
We have like micro periods where we're like, we were talking before about like the Renaissance and the Classical period like and the Bronze era. Yeah, like those are ages, I guess, of humans, but we haven't gotten to like the Jurassic kind of shit, you know, where they group fucking millions of years together.
And we got to be ready.
Visit orugastore.com today and enter the discount code OP15 for 15% off your order on all Oruga merch. Free shipping for orders over $50 is available as well. Thank you.
Man,
I fucking hate allergies.
You have allergies?
Yeah. And random shit that gets in my eye. Don't ever grow your hair out.
Okay.
Just everyone, not to promote the skinhead movement, but I just hate long hair.
I'm not a fan of neo-Nazism. Come on.
I'm just saying.
Oh,
I would rather
have
no hair.
I'm gonna go down a conspiracy rabbit hole. So, YouTube, I was like really getting into pyramids and like just the craziness of YouTube videos about the pyramids. And there was one where they were saying that the military found a pyramid in Antarctica and it was underground, and they said that they were harvesting the energy off of this pyramid. And they're like, it's the greatest radioactive, like it's the greatest power source on Earth, and we can do this and that. It was just so interesting how deep people really care about the idea of pyramids. And yeah, have you seen the conspiracies about pyramids in Antarctica?
I've seen almost every conspiracy theory about Antarctica.
Really?
I like the laser one.
You like the laser one?
Yeah, the green laser shooting out from like the South Pole or whatever.
Dude, I like how it ties into Hollow Earth theory and how they're like, it's a tunnel to the middle of the Earth. There's really just stairs, and you go to the center of the Earth, and there's this lush. Like, I don't know. It's so interesting.
The fact that there's like an ice shelf and that it hasn't melted yet, or it just was able to keep a place preserved, like a whole lake or something.
Oh yeah. What was that lake called?
I don't know, but it was almost like a reservoir underground.
Volatov?
And it was being protected by the ice.
Right. So it was a lake underneath it. It was a lake underneath an ice sheet, and this ice sheet was about 2 miles thick. I think I'm recalling that right. It might even be a mile thick. Let's go crazy. And they were drilling to it, and then they were trying to take samples of the water, and they discovered that like that lake was completely preserved for, I don't want to throw out that number again, but
species
a long
growing
time.
In there.
Mm-hmm. Totally alien and foreign to like how our bacteria
Because nothing that we know can grow in that temperature.
You know, I argue with you on that fact, though, because I think that pressure creates heat. I know pressure creates heat. Mm-hmm. And the amount of pressure of a whole ice sheet on you. Like, the water would be super compact, but I think also that creates friction, which that creates heat. So I think that lake actually wouldn't have that. Like, why would the water be non-frozen? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If it's so cold and the land is so cold, you know, I don't know. I don't know if
but
that's a bad...
But they're not getting it from the sun. So I guess it's all heat from the ground.
It's almost
or
like those...
Like a plume.
Yeah. This might not be a good example, but have you seen in the... gosh, the Marianas Trench, how there's these heat pockets in the Marianas Trench of volcanic valves. There's a bunch of heat there, obviously, and that's like, you know, that's from lava and blah, 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 blah. But there's this bacteria that lives off of the volcanic valves. And, like, there's no biologics. There's no biologics, like, in the cold water. But in the warm water, it's like there's some sprouts of more life. Mm-hmm. Also, sorry for being a scientist. Jesus.
I think the whole, like, the fact that there's volcanic plumes underneath water, just, like, constantly, like, it's hotter than the, I don't know what, but it's forming land and islands.
The tallest mountain on Earth is actually underwater.
Really?
Yeah, bro.
Is it named?
I fucking hope they named it, for sure. If they didn't name it, so I'm sure it's got a military term.
Yeah.
But tallest mountain in the ocean.
Also, on this episode of the Oruga Podcast, our poll is going to be a great question. It's going to be, what rapper should we start beef with?
Yeah, what rapper should we start beef with? All right, so before we get into that topic, because that's such a fun topic, we were fucking throwing names around like it was hacky sack. But, so what's the tallest mountain on Earth? And why don't you pronounce this one? This one.
Mauna Kea.
The Mauna Kea is twice the size of Everest.
How is that possible, though?
Because it's underwater, it's got more air to breathe.
I'm just kidding. More air to breathe. That's too funny. It is really double.
It's double Everest, bro.
God.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, there's no thing that would, like, make it distinct underneath water, would it?
Can I say something even crazier, though? The land we're standing on now, compared to what the ocean would be in comparison, is already taller than Everest. They only count Everest's height from the basin of the mountain. They're not counting all the way to the
they're counting
ocean
at sea
floor.
level.
Exactly. That's why the tallest mountain on Earth, or the tallest mountain on Earth, being underwater, once it peers out of the water, it's not the tallest mountain anymore. You know what it is? An island.
It is an island.
Isn't that just fuckery?
Well, what if the island has the tallest mountain?
That's just a phallic symbol. I don't know, bro. I don't know. But, going back to beef, bro. Yeah. Who would we start beef with as the Oruga Podcast? We're slicing throats out here. I'm just kidding. That's so aggressive.
Yeah, we're taking names, though. If anyone knows someone that you personally hate a rapper, as an influencer, we'll start talking shit about him.
Bro, you were saying that you're like, yeah, I want to start beef with Cardi B, and then that means Offset as well. But
even though I don't want to be having it directly correlated to Offset, I do not like Cardi B. But Offset's music is nice.
It's good. I like it too. He's a good rapper. I'll never shit on Offset or his ability to pick women. But having beef with the Migos. But then you're like, well, I don't think we can really have beef with all the Migos. Takeoff is cool.
Yeah. Quavo's alright.
Siding with the dead. That's so sad. Oh god. Yeah.
But I do like starting beef with just random ass. I mean, it's people that don't get it regularly, like beef.
Oh my god, what are you talking about?
I mean,
everybody There is a laundry list of people who don't like Cardi B. I mean,
Of course.
She only made that list longer after the WAP song.
Yeah.
Which I am not saying, like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm glad they made it. It's kind of a funny bit. But it, like, Ben Shapiro being like, she's
making
degrading
critiques.
all women. And yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that.
That's-
Ben Shapiro's too stuck up.
Dude.
He's got to stick up his ass.
That's what makes me irk about that Preston Shuttlesworth. Is that he reminds me of Ben Shapiro.
Yeah.
Like, very much reminds me of Ben Shapiro.
I could see it.
Do you remember how, it's funny when you're in the Catholic Church and you look at Ben Shapiro as, like, a person of good.
Yeah.
Which is really funny.
And, like, his ideologies.
Yeah.
You're like, hey, some of these are kind of making sense.
Yeah.
And then you just grow up. You're like, what is this man baby talking about, bro?
He's an interesting one. I've listened to a lot of podcasts of him, and he does have some great points about, like, how we should restructure society to the positive and blah, 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 blah. He's got some great points.
Yeah.
But then he's also got a lot of...
He gets hurt about the wrong things sometimes.
I don't really know. I'm not gonna talk. I don't know. He's an interesting character. He's an interesting character.
Well, you can't say he's an untouchable, because, like, there's so many things that you can make fun of him about. He does talk really fast.
There's that. He's a smart guy, though. I don't know. I'm not gonna
Keep going back on your
I'm
word.
actually gonna go positive because, he's not the person I want to start beef with, because he would have a very long and extensive rant about these guys at Oruga Podcast.
Yeah, he would talk faster than my mind could perceive.
Yeah. He would be one that would be like, you know what, you might have some good points, Ben Shapiro. Oh, God. Yeah. When we go on the topic of starting beef with celebrities, obviously we have no stones to throw in a glass house, but it's fun to think about it.
That's because we're not affiliated with anyone yet.
Yeah, we're just trying to get some clout. You know what I'm saying? This is a business transaction, and we need some hate to get some love. It's all a formulation.
It's just one big old business deal.
And when we start beef with that person, we'll actually DM them and make sure that they know that we're on their side.
We're on the same side here.
And if they don't take that DM, we're going to go straight to their house.
That's where the beep starts playing.
What?
The censored.
And
we're gonna.
And then we're going to start... I'm just kidding. But yeah, it's so interesting that, like, once you start becoming, like, a really famous influencer, I wonder if Ben Shapiro is starting to think, man, maybe I need bodyguards. It's getting weird, man. I'm starting to have people send me
letters. He's
letters.
like a news commentary, though, because he's mostly making stories about everyday news.
He's probably more popular than Fox News.
I want to say so.
Viewership-wise.
Right.
Yeah. Right. Fox probably gets, I don't know, 10, 15,000 views a day. That seems pretty reasonable. I don't know.
30K on a good day.
Yeah, that's it. Like, their YouTube channel's popping in their cable channel. Do you know what I mean? Their YouTube channel's, like, way off the charts. Great. Like, I remember my grandfather, name dropping there, would watch Fox News cable, but then also watch Fox YouTube as well, and he was double dipping. That was really interesting. Oh, gosh. What news channel did your family, like, lean towards? Because my family was all Fox, bro.
It was definitely Fox, but there's always, like, some weird... like the cable TV, and it has, like, MSN or some weird news channel on it.
Yeah, and they got, like, Suns.
What's that one with Good Morning America?
ABC.
I think it was mostly that channel being like on.
I liked ABC, I'm not gonna lie. That was my choice, actually, of news. Yeah, my family would always choose Fox, but I was like, I like ABC.
I know, Fox is too, like, hatred-based.
Yeah.
Like,
but they're so obviously Republican. ABC is like, see if we're liberal or not.
see if we're liberal.
Test the water. They always, like, trend that line. They always kind of lean liberal just a little bit on the reporting, but their ideology's really buried deep. You really have to read between the lines to understand ABC's.
I mean, there's very few centrist news stations.
Yeah.
Are, like, trusted.
And I'm not saying ABC News is centrist at all.
Yeah.
They are not. I know for a fact they're not.
It's the ones that are portraying that they're for everyone.
Right. Yeah. Good Morning America. Imagine that. That's a ballsy name for a news.
I think they were just the first ones to trademark it. And that's why.
Brilliant, though.
Yeah.
Dude, if we could have Good Morning America, I would. Dude, I was thinking about the subject of...
That means the acronym is GMA. And that's
it's
grandma.
GMA. Well,
It must be known as grandma.
Dude, grandma's America, bro. I don't know. Gosh, she knocked me off my... I had no idea where I was going with that.
About Fox News.
Yeah. Dude, ABC was great, though. I used to love watching ABC.
I know.
Like, Good Morning America was
whichever
great.
one had that Thanksgiving Day parade, that was the channel to go to.
Yeah. Screw
Screw all the other news stations. Was ABC the same one with David Muir?
Yeah, of course.
Of
Of course.
ABC's the GOAT. I don't care what point.
Then they had, before David Muir, it was, Barbara Walters.
Yeah.
I think it was Barbara Walters. And I was a big fan of her. And then David Muir would sit in for her when Barbara Walters would do an interview out of broadcasting room. I don't really know. I don't know the details. But I watched that forever. And then 2020 too. I'm pretty sure. You remember that murder show? It was like an after.
Oh yeah.
I
know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
My grandma used to watch that.
It was always the husband or wife. Every episode, dude. And it would be the husband in the jail or the wife in the jail. Let's not be sexist. And the detective male would always be
like, oh, she slipped a little too many pills in his water.
What happened to your spouse? And they'll be like, And dude, they would always break down the first interview.
And it's always funny watching the police, like interrogative tape when they're in the room, and they're either not saying anything, or they're like giving out their whole life story and crying, and they're like, "Oh, I did do it.
Right?
Why did I do it?"
And in both situations, by the body language, they're guilty.
Yeah.
Man, the body language always
either
gives
they're
it away.
Stone cold killer, or they're really emotional.
Mm-hmm.
And
exactly.
There's no in between. You can't have if they weren't a killer, they would just be acting normal.
Yeah, those stone exactly. They would.
There's no in between.
Have sincere where is my wife?
Yeah.
Why am I talking to you? I need to be out in the search teams. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But instead, it's those two versions of either the stone cold killer, which is like talking to their spouse like it's an object.
Yeah.
I don't know when it left. They're already
it is in a baggage thing right now.
And that's what they're
down.
That's what they think in the back of their head for sure.
Yeah.
But then there's the other one. It's they're just absolutely sobbing, but totally helpless.
Yeah.
And you're like, you're a little too sad for this. You have no you think your spouse is already dead, which is those shows are so fun.
If you still watch, this is my disclaimer though. If you still watch Fox or CNN in 2023, you're brainwashed.
I'm not brainwashed, dude. They actually have good shows. Water's World is actually doing really good. Jesse Waters is such a great commentator.
I don't think there's any relatable host on either platform that aren't toxic.
They're Ken dolls. They're like these like wax figures that are giving you very robotic answers. And you know what happened in the Middle East today? And you're like...
Low key, though, the other channel I like, and it is kind of a news channel. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it's Court TV, but there's this one news channel where it's this guy, and he was asking questions about, like, Donald Trump getting arrested.
Sure.
And he was asking this one lawyer, like, hella questions. And, like, he's just really friendly. Mm-hmm. And, like, the people that he has on his show are just, like, non-biased, very, like, fact-based. Mm-hmm. And, yeah, it's the people that are opinion-based. Like us, you gotta stay away from on the news sources.
True.
You can't have opinion-based in a fact, like, setting, you know? News is all fact setting.
Do you know what's different between us and the news, like Fox News?
You're supposed to be factual.
The things we just talked about 5 minutes ago, me and Nolan talked about fucking... We talked about that way before the podcast, and we were geeking about it then, you know? But the thing is, those producers on Fox News is going to be like, you know, I don't really think that we can talk about that.
A whole list of things.
That's ridiculous. We can't talk about Biden looking old. What are you talking about? And obviously that's CNN. But then it's the flip side, too. We can't talk about Trump being in jail. Trump's God. Trump's Midas. How could Zeus be in jail? We're not doing that.
Funny, like, the things that aren't able to be discussed on the platform that you're on. Yeah. Like, on CNN, it's like you almost have to have a positive opinion on Joe Biden and then a negative opinion on Donald Trump. And then if you're a Fox News host, it's the vice versa.
You know what's so... I'm going to do a side note. Mm-hmm. It's so funny that I had a family friend. I showed them the podcast, and I was like, you know, like, yeah, I do this thing every week, blah, 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 whatever. And they came back to me and talked, and he was like, I didn't know you were right-wing. I'm like, what? He's like, I didn't know you were right-wing. I was like, how long did you listen to the podcast? 30 seconds, I guess. First they didn't even get through the highlight.
Damn.
I was like, you're judging me because what? What do you say to me? I'm right. What?
I know, that terminology is too funny.
Dude, it's so ridiculous because, like, both parties are fucking stupid. Why do we have two picks? This makes me go back to my original thought. It's that it's so ridiculous that we have two picks for political parties, but I can go to McDonald's and there's 14, 15 different options on the menu. What's up with that, huh? Are we more advanced at McDonald's than we are for the fucking political system we have? We have less options for political ideas than we do at a fast food restaurant.
Cane's has more options than presidential.
And listeners, if you don't know what Cane's is, it's a chicken restaurant with bread and fries. There's nothing. I just described their whole menu. But they have at least 5 options.
That's more to pick from than we get for presidents.
How do we have less options for presidents than chicken orders? Dude, there's 300 million people in America, and we have 2 geriatrics to pick from in 2020. Excuse me? That's so insanity.
It's just because they've been around longer, Preston. They've got they've got that experience on us.
Yeah. Sure, they got that experience on them. They don't even know what state they live in.
Yeah, half of them are getting, like, what do you think, 2 or 3 publicly noticed, what is it, sexual harassment, like paparazzi photos a week, you know?
With Donald Trump, I'm sure he's probably paid like $10 million to silence a lot of people. Yeah, you think that, you know, that fist pumper doesn't do anything?
You just described it perfect. That was like the perfect gif of Trump.
Dude, when he's like shaking his hands, like he's jerking off imaginary dicks, he's just like, yeah, dude.
That dude tried so hard to be on the Mount Rushmore, though. You know what I mean?
I'm so for that. I know that makes me sound right.
He's already got a mugshot. I mean, let's just put it in stone.
Dude, you know how, like, if Biden was trying to do that, I'd be like, that's fucking insanity.
Yeah.
Don't know. He's not a good... But the thing is, we had no war during that presidency. We are currently in Ukraine in a money pit, and I'm sure that the Biden administration is getting paid in backwater of how much money they donate to Ukraine.
And if we pull out, the same thing will happen that happened in Vietnam or Korea.
We're embarrassed.
Where we just we didn't have enough resources to throw at a endless and stupid war.
Right.
And the same thing's gonna happen where our budget's gonna run out.
And you know what the vets are gonna say? You know how in Vietnam, at the end of Vietnam, they're like, we didn't lose the war, we left the war. And that's gonna be the propaganda with Ukraine.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Where we're just leaving it.
Yeah.
And we're not even attached to it.
Dude, I think when I really started tuning out of the Ukraine war is when we donated a ton of
I think
equipment to Ukraine, but the thing is they let that sit in a warehouse, and then Russia figured out that warehouse existed, and they bombed that warehouse, and like millions upon millions of dollars of equipment just went down the drain. Yeah. And it's like, how sloppy are you guys getting out there? Like, is it
for their info to be that
shaky?
Yeah.
Come on, you're running a war. It can't be that. I was about to say, it can't be that difficult. I'm sure it's difficult as fuck. Yeah. But the thing is, like, these things play out as, like, on the world scale. Like, you know that Ukraine, if there's no way that they're going to win that back. Yeah. In my mind. I don't know. It's rubble. It's not even great land anymore, I'm sure. I don't know, actually. I'm not a Ukraine expert, a military expert. That's my disclaimer, sorry. But it's interesting. It's interesting to think about.
I mean, at this point, it's like they're messing the land up more than the soldiers, you know? It's like they are destroying more to do with the land and bridges and railways than, like, actually targeting. Like, they're trying to target civilian priorities compared to, like, I guess, what would they be called? Rangers or whatever the fuck? Well, whatever their soldiers are called.
I don't know. But I'm going to retract back to the original thought, which is during Trump's administration, that shit didn't happen. And maybe that might be the roll of the dice and what era we were in, and that we were just at this natural point where America was at this pristine point where we didn't have a fucking war. But I don't know, man. It does write the good question of let's put them on Mount Rushmore. Why not, bro?
And now Now we're writing checks off every week to Ukraine.
Yeah, dude.
Thanks, Biden.
We could have put all of the presidents on Mount Rushmore with the money that we spent at Ukraine. Dude.
Yeah, we could have had all 46, or I guess 45.
God, it is 40. Yeah, no.
46?
No, it's 46. Biden's the 46th. Because, you know, Mr. Trumper was 45.
But you got to take into effect that some of them had repeating terms, or I don't even know how many years some of them served, you know?
I mean, that's very true.
46 presidents in between now and 1776. That's pretty wild.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Do you want to collect a free NFT? Well, head over to OpenSea and visit @ShopOruga to view our collections of digital art. Our most recent collection, Citation, is available now. Check it out.
And I'm not bullshitting. I know my facts, man. I know my 45th president, and I bow down to him at my altar. And I have a color palette of his orange skin all over my walls. And I'm just kidding, man. I am not right-winger.
Hey, he's also a media personality, so we look up to him in that sort of way.
Well,
he went from businessman to media personality to American president.
What not to aspire to?
Isn't that right? If you're not trying to live like this guy, then you must be trying to not be successful.
Sure. I find it interesting, though, that, like, I wonder how, when we grow old, what will our society view him as? Because, like, Trump was such a polarizing character in our time in history. And, like, I wonder how it will be looked upon. Like, it's almost like FDR, you know, like, we're finally at the age where we can look at FDR as a historical standpoint. There's no emotional attachment to the current time. And so it's like we can look at those characters.
There's a couple presidents that just aren't like memorable. But yeah, with the fact that Trump, he just, like, I don't know what he did, but he fucked around so much and just did so much shit in those 4 years that I think it could last like a good 20 or 40 years of his, like, impact on culture.
His emotional impact.
Yeah.
It's not like we're not talking about facts on the board, but we're talking about, like, how, dude, during 2016 or 2015, the election between Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump, it was either you were
and he didn't even win by popular vote.
Right. He won by electoral, which is an interesting system, the electoral. It's an interesting system. There's pros and cons to it, for sure. And that electoral college thing was created a long time ago. But
man, we would have been in so much trouble, though, if Hillary, because she is such a corrupt figure.
You know how many people she killed?
I don't even trust her husband, bro.
Dude, when she laughed about, I forget what it was.
And him being what if he was the first man
to get head in Oval Office?
No, first. What is it called?
Huh? Oh, the first couple to be both president.
I guess that would also be the case, but, like, he would be
the first man,
sir. No, I wouldn't be sir. You know how they call
first lady?
Madam? It would be Madam President and then first sir. What would it be called? First man?
First lady, first hombre, I don't know.
Yeah, they got the first lady.
Which, it's funny how they can't even say first woman. They're like, nah, she's a lady, bro. We don't want to give her that much.
But yeah, what would they be calling Bill Clinton if Hillary was the president?
I don't think they had a plan for it. That's wrong.
He'd be the first man of the White House.
Yeah. But it's interesting, like, back in those times, like, we couldn't vote at that point, so it really didn't matter what our opinion was. But I just remember how polarizing the idea of, like,
even at our age, though, when we couldn't vote, people were still like, oh, well, I would vote for blah blah blah.
Right. It was either you were a feminist, or you were for building a wall. Those were the only two options.
You were either for border protection,
or the first woman ever to be president. But the thing is,
and those were two ideas that weren't
cool,
like, in either one of their heads, you know. Like, Hillary Clinton wasn't thinking, oh, I could be the first woman president. She was thinking about other shit, like taking over the world and whatnot.
Yeah, she's like, how many bombs can I drop?
He wasn't thinking about building walls. He was like, how can I make this fucking place like my penthouse?
Right. Yeah. I'm not living at the White House. I'm living at my house.
How can I make all of America like my penthouse?
It is interesting, though, that they forced the president to live at the White House. Why? Why do I have to live? It's like college, bro. Why do I gotta go to the dorm? Like, you know, why? Why do I gotta stay on base? That seems...
I would be. Low-key, I'd be, if I was president, Air Force One everywhere, bro. I wouldn't be taking a car. Or motorcade. I'd be just... Well, I guess you'd have to take a motorcade after the jet.
For sure.
After the jet ride, but my plane bills and jet bills would be horrendous.
You know those Secret Service guys don't wear ties? Well, they do, but they wear clip-on ties, so they can't get choked out by their wraparound tie.
What?
Isn't that weird?
But it's always portrayed in the movies that they're getting choked out by ties that aren't.
Yeah, but that
clip-on.
shit does not happen.
Because they all got clip-on.
They all got clip-on. You'd have to
How'd
take
you
that
find
clip-on.
How'd you find that out?
Podcast. I don't know. I forget what podcast. I couldn't be able to tell you my source of where that was, but I think it was.
That's such like a.
This is not a good source.
It's something that can't be known to the public.
I actually
clip-on ties.
I do remember right. It was a Duncan Trussell Joe Rogan podcast, and let me tell you, listeners, if you've ever had a not good source, those are one because I deeply love the Joe Rogan and Duncan Trussell podcasts, but they just like woof. They go so deep so quickly. I aspire to that, that's for sure.
We do explore a whole range of topics.
Whenever
Joe Rogan or Duncan Trussell's involved.
I'm channeling Duncan Trussell when I talk about Hollow Earth theory. Oh my god, that motherfucker is so well educated on Hollow Earth theory and all the theories that go with all of it.
I mean, I think Hollow Moon theory makes more sense than Hollow Earth theory. Because the fact that when we landed on the moon and it did that like sound, the bell sound.
Oh, right. And there was a subtle hum.
Dude, there's a whole movie about the moon like crashing into Earth.
But at that moment, if it did crash on Earth, it would just be a thin piece of paper.
Well, the whole undertone of the movie is that the moon was an alien satellite.
Oh, okay.
So it was like, I guess, hollowed out, but it was like mostly a machine.
Okay. That would be what a good ploy, by the way, to watch us. Just to have a giant eyeball in the sky.
Yeah.
That, dude. And it never rotates.
And it's known to us as a natural satellite.
Right. A natural satellite. Exactly. Not something like Elon Musk creating a satellite of the sun with his Tesla, but a natural satellite.
The whole movie, though, I forgot what it was called. It was like called, Moonfall.
Oh, Jesus. What a clever one.
Groundbreaking, right?
Literally. I saw what you did there.
Moonfall. And it was about how aliens trapped a star that was close to Earth, and then that was their moon base. Is that the moon was just a dwarf star that got like encapsulated with this machine, and then they were just harnessing the dwarf star.
I know we always go tinfoil hat with this shit with the aliens, but I would if Hollow Earth theory or Hollow Moon theory isn't the conspiracy that's correct, then I would go and say there's definitely alien bases on the back of the moon, because if you wanted to watch us like an anthill, just go on the other side, bro. They can't see us. And the moon never rotates. The dark side of the moon never sees Earth. So what a good place to set up camp or even go in the oceans. We never explore the oceans. That's why I want ocean real estate. I want to see the UFO go through. Sorry, I'm just kidding. It's a nice thought, though. Like, it is an interesting thought, just to, like, be in a world where we actually are being watched. And it's not, who's watching us isn't Uncle Sam. It's like...
True.
It's like the aliens.
Or our phones.
Right.
And we're not getting tapped.
We're getting tapped right now. But yeah. But I really don't like the idea. Like, it makes no sense to me why aliens wouldn't be here. Mm-hmm. And I know that seems ridiculous, but the idea that, like, we as human beings...
is an epicenter of just different culture that they would not otherwise have access to,
Mm-hmm. And just, like, as an observing experiment. Mm-hmm. Like
how many other hubs are out there that are like similar and have city like structures or some bullshit,
and hive like cities.
Yeah. Like we are bees but just on a massive scale.
Mm-hmm. And we haven't harnessed this Earth, but we've I don't know.
Trying to suck it dry.
Literally. We're on the path to.
We're getting all them fossil fuels out with the rigs and all that.
Yeah. And then the next intelligent species that takes over Earth after we die from an asteroid is going to be like, these fossil fuels from humans are pretty good, actually.
Imagine our bones being used to fuel some motherfucker's UFO.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Because that's how dinosaurs are living through us right now.
For sure. If you're driving right now, take a prayer for that dinosaur that died.
Who's just being used in your engine.
Yeah, dude. You don't deserve that soul. Put that car in park.
on the highway.
I don't give a fuck. You're just murdering dinosaurs for willy-nilly?
Yeah, how many are in that mixture, too, of all the gasoline and oil that are in that barrel and then shipped to the gas station or in that big-ass tanker that fuels the gas station?
Are you talking about the semis? How much gasoline would be in the semis?
I'm not even saying that. I'm saying how many different dinosaurs are in that mixture.
Hundreds
of you.
Thousands.
Say you were a dinosaur and then you're liquefied.
Right.
And then now you're just in this big old bucket.
Pure carbon.
With everyone else.
Yeah. Just burning that carbon, man.
And now you're just used for a vehicle.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing. I don't think it's that crazy to think that if we fuck up as the human race, it would be a shame. Mm-hmm. I'd like living. I would like my children to live, my great-grandchildren to live. I would like a prosperous human race. That would be cool. But there's always that small inkling chance that an asteroid's gonna hit, the sun's gonna fucking cook us.
Have a solar flare. And
having solar flares.
Reach us.
Yeah, we go back to the Bronze Age because we're stupid. And our phones think for us. Dude, if our phones all delete and we go back to 1990s, what happens? I think we would revert so far back. I think.
You think the habits are too far gone in human brains? Like we're so attached to just reaching in our pockets for something.
Maybe not yet. Because I think we're at this point
give it another 10 years.
I can put my phone down and something physically won't happen to me. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't have a physical addiction, right? Technically, with cell phones, you have a psychological addiction. But, actually, only 1 billion people are on the internet. There's 7 billion people on Earth.
Yeah, one of the things at Google that I was learning in their course is that they're trying to make the next, I guess, generation or wave of, like, they're basically trying to make, this is gonna sound weird, make it more accessible for the next billion users. So, like, in terms of buttons, language, translating, like internet accessibility, having offline accessibility to Google, they're trying to like market every new project for the next billion users, not the people that are already experienced in technology. It's the people that have never picked up a phone or a tablet before in third world countries and shit. That's who they're now making products and services for.
And me and you were born close to the turn of the century. Or turn of the century?
Turn of the millennium.
Millennium. Really?
Well, 2001.
Doesn't matter. I don't want to give out my birthday. Anyways.
We're old.
But the thing is,
young.
we got to see the development of Google. Mm-hmm. You know, like, I remember how archaic Google used to be. And I remember how simple it used to be. And I remember how much it's came from. Because today I can go on Google and have Google Bart. And I can look up the Oruga Podcast and AI tells me what the Oruga Podcast is. Which is fucking insanity. And the thing is, like, we've been able to see this, like, build up. And there's so much use to knowing what the internet is right now, and like to see and to know the past as well. These people who are just now touching the internet, whoa, how far are you behind? That's like getting Neuralink 100 years later than you should. It's gonna be interesting. Like that's gonna be one of our evolutions. If it actually, dude, to have my cell phone in my spinal cord seems a bit ridiculous.
I know. I wonder how many years we are off from a full Neuralink. Not like transition, but like I guess 10% acceptance use or 5% acceptance use. Like you already know that he's thinking of those numbers and stats in his head. You know, like we need this kind of acceptance rate to be profitable or for it to go to market.
For sure.
So he's probably just waiting for everyone else to like catch up, I guess, to drop their morals and whatnot. You're like, yeah, I'll put a chip in my head.
This isn't the mark of the beast. Come on, guys.
This is an advancement.
We just want Amazon connected to your toes.
We need them feet pics.
How are you going to use PayPal with your spinal cord if you don't do it? Come on. We need a little kickback from PayPal every time you take a shit. Come on, guys.
Yes, we need some sense back every time we go to a vending machine.
Dude, imagine if you have a cloud in your brain and you're like, damn, I gotta pay for like memories. Man, I'm gonna have to delete a whole decade if I don't have
like you would have to have hard drives almost. Like,
yeah.
I'm reaching my memories with band.
and I don't know, whatever company that Tesla or space, I don't know, Elon, whatever his Neuralink's just gonna be like, we want a monthly prescription, or we need a monthly pay. You're gonna have to pay us $10 or $12 or maybe even $30
to extend your memory use.
Yeah, we're gonna have to cut out those decades when you were young if you don't want to pay $15 a month.
You just see the pros and cons list, and it says extends memory use, and you're like, what the fuck year am I living?
Efficiency with the brain. 30 more years of living.
Can translate in real time. I'm like,
dude,
if you can translate real time now, you know how much traveling would boost?
Oh my god.
If everything that you were seeing is just translated into the language that you speak or read in.
Let me go even so far. What if we don't need language? What if that's archaic? What if the things that we say and the sounds you hear and you're like, oh yeah, okay, those are those words that forms the sentence, maybe that, and you're like, that's what the point is, okay, and then you're doing that in real time, maybe all that's ridiculous. Mm-hmm. Maybe we only did that to communicate, but then we're just going to send like files, like little PNGs or JPEGs over to each other's brains. So that's an image.
You know what they call that? They call that shards in Cyberpunk. They're like, let me send you a shard.
Interesting.
And they're like, ching. They just hand it to you.
Oh, Jesus. That makes me uncomfortable.
USB out the back of your neck.
And you put a virus in you, like,
that's like one of the main themes of that game. Is just like, what happens if other people start controlling the cyberware you put in your body, or just like the technology that you're using? How are they going to affect you?
Right. Because our phones are no more secure than the newest technology out now. Mm-hmm. How could they not? If I get a virus on my phone, I could get a virus in my spine. For sure. There's no doubt in my mind.
Yeah.
And there's also
based off any code, like you can make a virus, and it could affect any system no matter what code it's on.
Right. And also, Apple is what I have. Apple's cool. They don't give me ads when I go to my home screen. And I would assume that's the same thing for Neuralink too. Maybe they won't give me ads when I go to my home brain
Dashboard thing.
Yeah, but we live in a society that would the parent company that has Neuralink or whatever fucking brand you do to plug into your spinal cord. What if they start doing ads?
Like Spotify.
Yeah.
That's what...
Anything, dude.
You know, it's kind of been sad, the decline, because I remember, like, paying for Apple Music, like, gift cards. Mm-hmm. And then you'd put it into your iTunes store, and then you would have to buy the actual, like, album. Yeah. It was, like, 99 cents or $2 or some bullshit for the album. And then if you didn't want to do that, you would just get it, like, pirated through a different website. Mm-hmm. Or if you did really like that album, you would just buy it on iTunes. And then the thing that Spotify does now, I don't know if Apple Music does it, but I just hate ads when you're listening to music. Like,
for sure,
that should just be completely removed. I don't even think that YouTube should play ads if you just have a whole music playlist.
But how are the artists gonna get money, Nolan?
Streams. I don't know. With their little Billboard award.
Let me tell you, I am in the privileged camp because I have Spotify Premium. Nothing in my life will ever be any better than that Spotify prescription. It is literally...
You mean
subscription? Whatever, bro.
You're getting prescribed Spotify.
I am getting subscribed. Prescribed. What's the fucking... I know there's a difference. I'm not an idiot, actually. But it is so fascinating how it's so much better than Netflix. It's so much better than YouTube. Yeah. YouTube's great, too. Like... But... Man, to be able to listen to any song ever, it's great. Oh my gosh, you know, like, for how much, like, really niche symphony songs you can find on Spotify, Jesus Christ, dude. Mm-hmm. There's so much garbage symphonies on Spotify, and there's so much great ones, too. And, yeah, same thing with rap. I mean, like, you can become a Spotify artist for free. For free, you can do that.
Yeah,
as an artist,
profile page.
It's not hard.
Yeah,
it's not hard. I used to think that was so cool when we would know people and they're like, "Oh, you got a little Spotify account? That's so crazy. You got 4 songs. Whoa!" But now it's like, oh, I get it now.
Yeah,
you just sign up.
Yeah,
throw the audio file up there. And it's an interesting world that we live in because you don't have to go to a record label and be like, I need my records printed and pressed and out to the
you're just getting paid
music
for
stores.
Streams.
Exactly. There's no middleman anymore, which is fascinating.
I mean, Spotify could still be taking some commission,
and they do.
Well, like 5%.
I don't know. They do something. Damn. Just punch my cat in the face, why don't you?
It's actually an elbow. Had to give her that closing elbow.
Yeah. This has been a fun one. You want to call it?
Yeah, I'm hungry.
So listeners, eventually you will see the Galactic Federation.
You must join us as we embark on space. That's it.
That's it, bro. We are going to be controlled, and we're going to have to pay taxes to the Galactic Federation. You wait. We'll pay taxes to the state, we'll pay taxes to the government, we'll pay taxes to Earth, and then we'll pay taxes to the galaxy. Where will it end? We'll never know.
Your tax dollars are going for good use.
Yeah.
Looking for an out-of-this-world poster or some stickers to brighten your mood? Check out the Posters and Prints collection on our website, orugastore.com. Our artworks are perfect for walls, mood boards, and anywhere you want to accessorize. The Oruga Podcast.
Somehow somebody's always looking the other way. Now look at these guys. They look busy, right?